Movies. Movie time, movies. Movie time, movies, movies, movie time. What's up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Hope everyone's having a good, what day is it? Tuesday? Everyone's having a good Tuesday. We are back. We are back to the DMD, Devon's Movie Dungeon. I feel like it needs a tagline. I've been trying to workshop it all day, but I don't really got anything good, so I'm not going to share any. I'm not going to share any of them. Folks, we are back. Thank you everyone who tuned into the first one. Hope it wasn't too bad. This one hopefully is a little bit better. You know, if we get 1% better, then it was good. Then it was good. But yeah, we're here to talk about movies again. We're going to follow a similar agenda to what we did last time. So we'll kind of do, we're doing the intro right now, and then we'll do what I've been watching, whether that's TV or movies. It's also where you, the chat, the audience, should put what you've been watching. Maybe something I haven't seen. If it's something we have seen, that's even better. We'll do that. Then we'll watch, I have one trailer I want to watch for something I didn't even know was announced. So maybe it's going to be mid. The fact that I've seen no one talk about it. And then we're going to talk about the Golden Globes again. I did my predictions last time. No, I don't remember what I predicted. But we're going to go through who did win and react to it. I did watch the Golden Globes in its totality on my television set. Yeah, I did watch all of it. I think it's the first time. I think I watched like a good chunk of it last year. I want to say like 2/3 of it. Or was that the Oscars? I don't remember, but one of them. But this is for sure the full time. So I have some thoughts on it, and we'll see the biggest winners and biggest snubs. But yeah, that's kind of the agenda for this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whatever time zone you are in. We're on movie time, mountain time. That's actually what MT stands for. It's not mountain time, it's movie time. What's up, Ethan? Hello, hello. Yeah, let's get into it. Let me make sure I have this set up because I don't. Aha, there it is. Shout out to Skyrim ASMR Sleep Aid. That is the ambient sound you are hearing. All right, let's let's jump into what I've been watching. We don't have too big of an update here. I know the first episode of this, first of the year, I said my goal is to hit 100 movies. I am off to a slow start. All right, but you know what? It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So I'm not too worried about it. Especially the fact that we're gonna watch a movie tonight. Shout out to David Lynch. It's his birthday today. Gotta remove stream elements. We don't actually use it. Yeah. It does always pop up. I feel like it doesn't even actually. I feel like I don't see it every time. But yeah, I'm kind of slack on the movies, but we are watching a movie tonight. It's David Lynch's birthday. It is Bryn's birthday, my girlfriend's birthday. And to celebrate both those occasions, we are watching Lost Highway, which I got on the Criterion collection. I got it on sale on Black Friday. I actually think Criterion Collection is doing a sale on all his movies today, so folks should go check that out. Highly recommend if you've never watched a David Lynch film, maybe start with like Wild at Heart. Actually, I don't even know what movies are on his Criterion Collection. Let me look that up. If I have not watched all his movies, I'm going to finish that this year, though. I'm going to commit to that. But yeah, all his movies are on sale, I believe. Blue Velvet's good. Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. You should watch the movies or the TV show first. But yeah, we're watching Lost Highway. Mulholland Drive is considered one of his best works. I have to rewatch it because it's been like 8 years. And I feel like I was not as media literate as I am now. I will say though, I'm not the most media literate person. All right, I'm not God yet. Okay. One day I'll be a true cinephile, and I will be able to interpret all of the movies for you, and they will all be the correct opinions. But yeah, Inland Empire was his last movie in theaters, I believe. So not everything is on here. Not his entire work is on here, but I need to watch this. I think this is on HBO. David Lynch, The Art Life. Eraserhead's really good, but I would not recommend that to someone's first David Lynch film. I mean, I guess you could, do whatever you want, I just feel like it's the more it's raw and it's very dreamlike, like David Lynch, but I feel like it's just won't be as digestible for some folks. Anyways, what have I been watching? Only one movie. I have been watching Fallout. Let me start there. Fallout. It's been 5 episodes. I think I said last time I just watched the first one. Watched the first 5 episodes now. I think there might have been a new one this weekend, or maybe we watched that one. I'm not sure. It's picking up the pace in a good way. It's starting to become a little MCU-like in its humor sometimes. But I kind of forgive it because there's other humor that I do like. Still very much impressed by the costume design and the kind of world building that comes with that. I watched The Big Lebowski for the first time since last DMD. Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's a classic right there. I've seen that a couple times. That's a banger. That's one of those movies you can put on for almost any occasion. Any occasion. You're right? Like, the boys are over, you can put it on. New Year's Eve, put it on. Funeral, you can put it on. You know what I mean? It's that good. One of those movies that just works in any occasion. But yeah, the Fallout show is pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite thing. Like, it isn't gonna be like, I'm not gonna compare it to like Severance or something like that. But it's decent. It's decent. I'm having fun with it. I will continue watching it. I also feel like I have to continue watching it because I'm doing homework. You know, for us, we do the video game movie reviews on this channel. I think we have a playlist for that. We've done over like 50 of them. I'm just doing a little homework. You know. But I do enjoy it. Other than that, oh, we did finish Heated Rivalry. Did I say that last time? I think I did. Or said I was watching it. Did finish Heated Rivalry. And then, yeah, Fallout. I think that's been it on the TV show front. But yeah, I went and saw 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. For anyone who watched my top 5 movies of 2025, you know 28 Years Later was in my top 5. I think it was number 4. And I didn't even realize this until I was, you know, reading what other people were thinking about with this movie, because it's getting great reviews, getting better reviews than the other one, which I can kind of see that for a couple reasons. But I didn't realize one of these reasons until more recently, which is that I didn't realize that 28 Years Later was kind of divisive for horror fans and fans of the franchise. I thought it was well received generally. I did not know that people didn't like it until I started like seeing other people talk about it, and I don't understand it. 28 Years Later is such a breath of fresh air in a oversaturated genre. And don't get me wrong, I think zombies, like that subgenre of horror, is one of my favorite genres, maybe my favorite. I like zombies. I like how they can be, you know, interpreted in different ways, or how they can be used as vessels for talking about society issues. I love all the George A. Romero ones from the early 50s, 60s, 70s there. I think those are the pinnacle of zombie movies, at least the ones I've seen. There's still a lot more I have not seen. I hope to add, I try to watch a lot of horror movies in October, so I'll maybe do more of those. But there's a lot of zombie movies out there, though. And a lot of times, or in TV shows, Walking Dead, right? Last of Us, right? And a lot of times, the story is the story really is always, well, it's actually the humans that are the bad part. The zombies are just there. Humans are worse, right? Humans are the true evil. And like that has been done over and over again. And what I liked about 20 Years Later, it wasn't that. That movie is about isolation on a more like society scale, but also it's about finding humanity. I'm not going to spoil the movie, by the way, or 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I'm just going to talk about themes, so hopefully that's okay with folks. I should have said that at the top. But yeah, I mean, 28 Years Later is both a coming of age story. It's about parenting. It's about the conflict of parents and child, about, when you have to maybe lie to your child, or, you're open them to other things, open, different subjects to them, but then how do you go around the other ones and the failures of parenting? But also it's talking about isolation. It's also talking about, closing yourself off. It's also about empathy. It's about remembering the humanity in everybody, even people who look different than you. Going back to the isolation there. It's also about death and accepting it, but also not making it a scary thing and more of a, it's a part of life. There's a lot of themes in that first movie. There's a lot of layers to it. And it's one of those movies that I think I said in my review that, when I first came out of it, it wasn't what I expected it to be. And I didn't know how to feel until I started talking with friends and whatnot about it, and I realized how much I did like it. And there's a lot more layers to everything. There's a lot of more things going on in the movie. And then I rewatched it, and I was like, yep, this movie's fucking great. 20 Years Later builds up off a lot of that stuff. But it's also a different story. It's less about Spike, our character, one of our main characters from the first movie. It's also about, can't really spoil. This is where it gets tough. Like, I can't really not spoil this, but I guess from the first one. But it's more about our new set of characters played by so Jimmy Crystal, who's played by Jack O'Connell, who's the same who played the vampire in Sinners, and I did not realize that until afterwards. I'm a fake cinephile because I couldn't recognize him. Granted, he looks completely different in this movie. He's literally wearing a wig, a blonde wig, when he has short hair. And the other one, both villains though. But yeah, it's about Jimmy Crystal and his gang, right? And then it's also about Dr. Kelson, which I'm so glad we got more of him. And there's some other like characters that we weren't expecting, right? And they were in it as well. But the movie it builds off a lot of those themes, but it's also a little bit different. Where I feel like it's a lot, and I wrote this in my Letterboxd review here. It's also, I think, about patience, nurturing, rebuilding versus ignorance, neglect, and isolation. So the isolation theme's back, but I think in a more less in like a country way and more of in a personal way. Like, I think the movie's a lot about like, mental health, right? Where someone might be suffering and either they don't get the help they need out of maybe because of their own actions, or they don't have support systems around them to help them towards getting help. I think a combination of those things, versus a more being approachable, not judging in a negative way, nurturing, rebuilding, also like accepting, I think, again, with this as well, or accepting people's mental health struggles and knowing what you need to put around them for them to succeed in life, versus ignoring it or neglecting that maybe mental health issue that they're having, or enabling it. And then also there's a combination of, I think on top of that also obviously with cults and religion, faith in humanity versus faith in a higher power, that is also a big theme in this. It's a different direction, different pacing than the first movie. It's a new director. So it didn't have all the iPhone, I don't know if it was shot on iPhone, but it didn't have like the iPhone shot thing that we saw in the first movie, but I was okay with that. But yeah, Nia DaCosta, I think she did a fantastic job. This movie still has a great cinematography. It's a little bit smaller scale, but I think it didn't need to be bigger because of what the story was trying to tell. Alex Garland was still the writer. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much. Maybe in a couple months I'll talk about it more. But I really liked it. But to go full circle on this, I mentioned at the top that I didn't realize people didn't like the first one. And I saw that the box office numbers for this movie isn't as great as the first one, and people are confused. And then I was reading, and like a lot of people didn't like the first one who were fans of the franchise. I don't know why. Once again, like, I mean, I went with a different expectation of it, and it was not what it was, what I thought it was going to be. But I don't know what people thought it was going to be, other than like, if it wasn't going to be that, it was just going to be your standard zombie movie, and it would have been just cool, but it wasn't going to be earth-shattering. I think the people who didn't like that first one aren't going to come and see this one. But I have read that some people said I didn't like the first one, but then I came and watched this and I like this one more, which I find interesting. Because I feel like this one's way more bold and way more, like, kind of putting the zombies aside. Like, there isn't as much zombie stuff in this, or infected stuff, as they would say. There is, but there isn't. And I can't really delve into that more without spoiling it. There is and there isn't. It was way more bold, I thought. Way more, just very refreshing again. Very different. I think, I know that they confirmed a third one they're going to shoot. Because they filmed both these movies back to back, is my understanding, or at least pretty close together. So we'll see what the third one is. I'm assuming that's not going to come out anytime soon. I have an idea of where they're going to take it. I don't know how much I'll love it or not. I won't spoil that, but there's something that happens at the end, just like the first one, and it kind of previews what it might be. But yeah, I really enjoy this movie though. Really enjoy this movie. I'm surprised by people's reaction. I mean, January just generally is not great for box office numbers, just typically. So on one hand, I think that has something to do with it. People said the marketing wasn't good because people thought it was the same movie, which I think is kind of fair. If you're not really paying attention, as I typically am doing, with I go to the movie theater a lot. I see the trailers, or I watched the first one. I knew there was a sequel. Like how many people in passing who didn't see the other one were like, "Oh, is this the same movie?" Because sometimes they show trailers for movies that are like coming out in a year. It's rare, but it does happen. I think I like 28 Years Later more. I like more of the coming of age story. I like the more family story with that. This one's a little bit more, once again, a more about mental health, I think, and isolation, but also cults and religion. So still really good stuff. And I know zombie movies, I think, in the past have talked a little bit about this, but they just did it in a way that is really refreshing, just like the first one. And I really do believe people are going to hate on these or whatever. They might not like them. But I think in 10, 20 years, we're going to point to these movies like we did with like people do with the original movies. At least the first one. I really liked it, but I thought about doing a review on this, but I just didn't think I would have time. So I'm getting my wisdom teeth out on Thursday. I had to squeeze this one in. I wasn't sure if this was even going to happen, so maybe I will one day. But yeah, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Oh, I didn't even mention Ralph Fiennes is amazing. I think I learned recently his name's supposed to be pronounced a different way, and I can't remember what it is now. But he plays our dude here, our doctor. I loved him in the first movie. He's great in this. Dr. Kelson's his name. And he has one scene in this movie that, as a 14-year-old, I would have been super hyped for. I was still hyped for. It was like, hell yeah. I'll just say it's very metal. I'll just say that, and you'll know what I mean when you see it. But fantastic. There's one poster. It's not this one, but there's a poster of him during a metal scene, that I maybe have to get one of these days. I have a lot of art to hang, so I'm not gonna buy any movie posters anytime soon, though. All right, that's what I've been watching. I had a lot to talk about though with it, but like I said, I'm gonna watch Lost Highway tonight, so I'm gonna get on a good roll, and maybe I'll watch some movies while I'm high on fucking pain meds with this wisdom teeth, even though that probably is not the best way to view some of this stuff. But all right, let's move on to where is it? Right here. Yeah, I didn't know there was a Mummy announcement. I totally missed this, so we're just gonna watch this 1 minute and 16-second video, and then we're gonna go into Golden Globes here. I guess this is Blumhouse, an Atomic Monster. Oh, we gotta get this to 1080p here. Oh, I'm on the SRank account, so do not get that enhanced bitrate. All right, here we go. All right, lifting up a sarcophagus here. The studio that brought you weapons. Okay, right. We have some, I think, Egyptian chanting. Ooh, a scorpion on someone's mouth. Ugh. What happened to Katie? Okay. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I'm not familiar with that name. This is this year. All right. April 17th. Okay. I mean, nothing will beat the Mummy series there, which was way more, you know, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean energy. There was that Mummy movie with Tom Cruise, but I didn't hear anything good about it, and I never watched it. I watched the trailer that a lot of people watched that didn't have any of the music, and it was just sound effects. I'm not familiar with Lee Cronin. Lee Cronin. Cronin? Lee Cronin? Oh, he did Evil Dead Rise. I did not see Evil Dead Rise either. I can't. That was 2023. Damn, dude. Irish filmmaker, best known for directing horror films. All right, sure. I mean, it definitely looks more like a darker Mummy, obviously. So we'll see. I don't know anything about Katie there. I'm assuming that's like their kid or something that got mummified by the mummy, Mr. Mummy. Not familiar with the Mummy. I've seen, I think I don't know if I've seen the original Mummy with Boris Karloff there in like the 40s. But obviously I've watched all the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Come on now. Those are peak. All right, let's jump into our main topic tonight. We're on a good pace here. We've gone 30 minutes on the dot. All right. So yeah, I watched the Golden Globes. Actually, let me drink water first because I am getting dehydrated. See, when you do a stream by yourself, you got to yap a lot. And there's nothing else happening visually, so it's like an extra challenge. You know, this is like it's like a comedy movie, and I gotta keep it going, keep people engaged. All right, Golden Globes. Yes, I watched it. All. And I remember saying, you know, hey, was there a best podcast before? And we learned there was a new award. And yeah, I mean, it's great that I have a chance, and we have a chance, Ethan and I here, and David too, I guess. We have a chance to become Golden Globe winners. So on one hand, as someone who does a podcast, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be like, I can win a Golden Globe. We have a chance. And hello, Alec. Or Al3K. Yes, there's spiders on the screen. Be careful. They're coming to get you. But on the contrary, why the hell is there a best podcast at the Golden Globes? It doesn't make any sense. Because there isn't any, like, I don't think they've added too many other categories from what I've read recently. Like, they have best performance stand-up comedy. You know, and then it gets to television. And then we get into movies. And movies are broken down between drama and comedy. And then you have drama, musical, and comedy. But musical and comedy are together, and then you have drama. And it's all you really have for categories. So why are you spending time to make a best podcast when you could add, like, I don't know, a different genre of awards? Like, I don't know, best science fiction, best horror. Maybe you split up the musical and comedy category. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels really weird. It was really weird even watching it. Amy Poehler won with Good Hang. And I'll say they did a compilation. They did a compilation of all these, and all of them have fantastic production. I'll give them that. They have fantastic production, but all of them just are just the celebrities riffing. Most of them are celebrities riffing, or just are, you know, them having opinions on things. I mean, NPR is the only one on here that I think like should be get anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're talking about like importance, or I'm not even a big NPR. Like, I don't listen to NPR, but like I know they do good work. You know, maybe they're a little too Western, but like Western focused, or, you know, whatever, too libbed up sometimes. But like I don't know. It's like, okay, we have NPR, and then we just have like opinion or just hangout. Like, literally, it's called Good Hang. Like, I'm sure it's funny, right? All right, no offense to Amy Poehler, but it's just like all these other awards are supposed to be for like acting and, no offense, more like art. Then, like, I don't consider podcasting really art unless you're like analyzing art on a pretty deep level. Like, NPR is a news program. You know what I mean? Like, it was a weird category with weird nominees. But yeah, Amy Poehler won, and it was just weird. We're going to go through a couple of these articles later. But one of this here said, and I didn't know this. So I was watching on television, and then there's people who are watching on Paramount Plus. I had a friend who was watching on Paramount Plus, and I was texting her on the like while it was going on, and she was seeing different things than we saw. Like, when they were running commercials, some of their awards were going, and one of them, one of the ones that I saw, it mentions here, there was no clips from any of the films for the first hour of the program. And they wrote, "Give us a taste of the movies. It always makes the night feel more special. After all, the podcast nomination got clips." And I'm like, yes. And I thought, and like, they did like a whole compilation of all of them. All of them were like shown, which is cool. But then there was some awards, which we'll get to later, and we'll get to them, that like weren't shown at all. So it's like they made an effort to show best fucking podcast, but then they just didn't. It was like when the Game Awards, like, they'll rush through, like, you know, what I would argue are some decent awards, and they just run through them real quick, right in the beginning, 30 minutes before the real presentation starts. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat here. It's the best podcast because they see the Joe Rogan numbers and feel younger generations looking to new entertainment forms. They think they need to adapt to grab that young audience. Yeah. So other podcasts are run the risk of streamers. Yeah. I just don't think there needs to be a podcast category unless it's like specifically about reviewing movies or television. That's what it should be. Or I know HBO does you know, like companion podcasts with some of their shows. Like, maybe have that be on there. Like, sure. Like, I think it needs to tie into act, like, what, just because there's a celebrity running it, just because Amy Poehler's been in movies and television shows, like, what does that have to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But granted, I don't listen to any of these. I've heard about Call Her Daddy, and I think I've heard of Smartlist before, but that's about it. But all the clips they were showing were all just them doing what a lot of other podcasts do. Podcasts like those are also non-union talk shows. Funny enough, two of my friends were up for Oscars, and one of them won Best Short Film. Hell yeah. Another got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but didn't get it. I mean, hey, being nominated at all, I think, is great. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's still, I mean, that's why they all dressed up everything, you know? I think the Will Smith slap was the final straw. That was at this, right? 2 years ago. I'll say, I forget her name, the host. She was very good. I liked her. And she did some jokes that I thought I was surprised by. Including towards, what's his name there? Bill Maher, right there. She made an Epstein joke, and the camera cut to him. And I thought that was fucking hilarious. Like, that was a good job on the production end. The Talking Dead wins for 20th year in a row. I mean, yeah, Talking Dead, sure. But I'm saying, like, there is plenty of podcasts out there that do movies and whatnot. I I just feel like they should have. I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna do this award, it's got to be related. This just felt very random, and to have NPR in there when you have all these other people, just felt very weird too. Just a weird award all together. Mix up glows with Oscars. You're all good. You're all good. I'm probably gonna mess it up too myself. Ricky Gervais won. The person who read out his award kind of dunked on him beforehand, and then he wasn't there either. Like she talked about, I think the queer community or the trans community specifically, and then said like, "Oh, you can come and get it from a queer woman" or something like that. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna go through these awards here that I didn't really care too much about. Adolescence won a bunch of awards. I was cheering for Walton Goggins or Tremel Tillman. Really more Tremel Tillman. I love Severance. He's fantastic in Severance. Sucks that he didn't get it. But yeah, I guess this Owen Cooper here is the youngest to ever get this award. It was what they said. Another Adolescence winner. God, their website is kind of annoying. Because you have to scroll down, click the page, and then it brings you to the top. Seth Rogen got something for the studio. These are all shows I'm not really familiar with outside of The Bear, but I haven't seen The Bear, but I know a good chunk about it. Yeah, we had Dying for Sex, Michelle Williams. Gene Smart won for Hacks. I was surprised Wednesday was on here. I feel like no one was talking about Wednesday. No offense. The Pit, Noah Weil. The Pit got a couple awards, and it made me mad. Because I don't know if did I say it on stream? I think I did. Where I haven't seen The Pit, but everyone's saying it's just very realistic or whatever, right? But we have so many of the hospital drama. I need to watch Pluribus. I think that might be the next thing I watch after I finish Fallout here. Pluribus, I heard good things. I don't know too much about it, and I kind of want to go in blind. But I've heard good thing about Pluribus from multiple people. And I think it's on HBO, or is it no? It's on Apple. I gotta get use out of my Apple subscription. I think my mom pays for anyways. But yeah, I was surprised by The Pit winning because I was just like, really? Like, we had Adam Scott, Severance. We have Diego Luna, Andor. I still didn't watch the second season of Andor. I heard good things about Slow Horses. But I'm like, really? Like another hospital drama? I guess it must be that good. Must be that good. What's up, David? Welcome. Yeah, I know there's always the yeah, I'm trying not to do Disney Plus. So yeah, I do need to go on the high seas for Andor. Severance, another L. I don't think Severance got fucking anything, dude. That's what I'm mad about too. And we're gonna get to the biggest snub, which is Sinners. Sinners got, I think, only one award, and it was an award that wasn't shown, which was also annoying. Because it was on my television, they didn't show it. I think on Paramount Plus they did, but they didn't show the one award that Sinners got. I think it was Best Score. But, they had the podcast compilation. They did do a funny bit, by the way, with the podcast compilation. I'll give them credit. They did do like a "We Come to This Place." They did a Nicole Kidman joke. All right, on to the next. I want to keep it moving here. Keep it moving here. We know we're actually good on time right now. Yes, I think it was Best Original Score. Ludwig Göransson. Who's done a lot of stuff. Everyone's probably heard of his stuff. You just don't even realize it. He won for Best Original Score, and I think this is the one that wasn't aired. They did the other ones. All right, let's go to the bottom here. Yeah, Adolescence won Best Television Show. I read what it was about, and I'm like, I don't know if I can watch that shit, dude. It's like, it might be too much. Yeah, the studio won, so Seth Rogen got one for his performance, and then the show won itself, so I guess it was pretty good, I guess. But yeah, The Pit won over Severance and Pluribus and White Lotus. White Lotus got other awards too. This podcast is like the bus from Speed. If Devon slows down, we all die. Yes. But yeah, Pit made me mad. Also, I heard this guy's kind of a douchebag, I guess. But whatever. I mean, you know, Hollywood's Hollywood, I guess. Well, if anything, this is now to our next thing. But yeah, I predicted Sinners to win this one, I believe. I think it was either that or Avatar, Fire and Ash, but I thought Sinners would win just because Sinners exceeded expectations, I think, in the box office when it comes to a horror movie, an original horror movie. Is The Pit worth it? If you're into hospital dramas that are hyper-realistic, then yes. My girlfriend liked it, generally. But yeah, Sinners won. I think it deserved to win this. It sucks it didn't get anything else, pretty much, besides, I think, 2 other awards, like I said. I was really surprised by one of them. We'll get to it. But yeah, this title still, to me, is very confusing. Cinematic and box office achievement. Cinematic and box office achievement. Like, what is, you know, like, cinematic, is that saying, like, the theater experience? Okay, cool, sure. But then box office achievement. So yeah, it's got to do this and that. So I guess, you know, sure. But I feel like a default when you hear that, people are like Avatar because it made a lot of money again. But I'm glad Sinners won it. Best original song, K-pop, Demon Hunters won. I don't really care for K-pop. Demon Hunters, I mean, I haven't seen it, but it's not something that interests me. Well, this is one where I think Sinners should have won. 100%. Because Sinners had original songs, especially that Ludwig Göransson won Best Original Score, but maybe the voters split on it, I guess. I know, this felt very much like a popularity thing more than a... how does the song work with the movie? Like I said, I haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sure it maybe does because it's literally called K-pop Demon Hunters. But like Sinners has one specific scene in it that's very memorable, and it has great music. It's like all tied together. You couldn't get through 20 minutes of Sinners? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll say I wasn't as high on it as other people were. I still would put it in my top 10. It didn't crack my top 5. I do need to rewatch it though. I don't know what it was, but just it was missing the special something to get it over the hump for me. But I like that it was the vampire culture vulture kind of metaphor there. And I liked all the actors in it, and the music was really good. I think the ending for me was just a little like, I feel like it needed to end at a certain part, and I feel like it kind of tried to do a little too much at the end. It's kind of my biggest gripe with it. And I thought I don't know, there's like something missing that I couldn't really... It was, something missing with it. I just don't know how to really tell. I mean, I also felt like the vampire like monster part of it wasn't just anything too exciting. I think that's another part, I guess, those are my 2 biggest things. But I think that's where like the missing something. I think it needed to be something else in it. From Dusk Till Dawn, but woke. Well, I'm pro woke, so I'm okay with it being woke. But From Dusk Till Dawn is a different... I mean, that story is more a heist movie that turns into a vampire movie. Did I see 28 Days Later, Bone Temple? Yes, and I did talk about it extensively without spoiling it, Brett, if you want to watch the stream later. I think around the 20-minute mark, maybe. 15-minute mark. Best Original Score, Ludwig, like I said. So this is the second thing that Sinners got. And then that's it, I believe. And this is where the snubs start happening. But I will say One Battle for Another did get a lot, which we'll talk about in a second here. Paul Thomas Anderson won Best Screenplay. This was this was considered a snub. Every outlet I've read has talked about how this was a snub. I also agree. One Battle for Another was based off a book. Ryan Coogler's Sinners is an original piece. So I'm kind of surprised by that. I mean, I liked Hamnet a lot, and this was another big wow, in a good way. Sentimental Value got a lot of awards. I think all the actors got awards, so I think this is a tough thing, but I think this was a Sinners win potential. Like, I think One Battle for Another is great, fantastic too, but I just felt like, I don't know, like, despite my gripes with Sinners, it had I think it still had pretty good, like I said, like, original ideas and stories and characters. Like I said, the ending, maybe, like, if I'm being, like I said, being a little picky, I feel like it was a little iffy at the end. So, like, One Battle for Another I did like more. But, like, I thought, you know, and, like, other people have talked about this too, and we're going to quickly maybe run through these if we have time. Some more expert opinions. People thought Sinners was going to win Best Screenplay, One Battle for Another was going to win Best Motion Picture for drama. And One Battle for Another wound up getting both. Spoilers. Also got Best Director. Paul Thomas Anderson won Best Director. I kind of am on the side of this one because, like, the cinematography is fantastic in One Battle for Another, and I feel like if the movie was shot in any other way, it just wouldn't have worked. Like, the pacing, and I keep saying that last act of that movie with the driving up and down the hill, like, just seeing that on fucking IMAX, or I think we saw in Dolby, one of the two, it just was fucking breathtaking, dude, and it literally puts you on the edge of your seat. But yeah, I get it with Ryan Coogler. People want him to get his flowers. Stellan Skarsgård with Sentimental Value. Shout out to Stellan Skarsgård when he won this award. He went up on stage and said movies need to be seen in theaters. We have to protect movie theaters. That's why Skarsgård is the GOAT. That's why we're okay with nepotism when it comes to Skarsgård. K-pop Demon Hunters. Of course, Brett loves K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, that explains a lot. That's a joke, by the way. Tiana Taylor, though, also won One Battle After Another. I was low-key cheering for Amy Madigan just because we don't see horror movies like that get nominated very often, I feel like. And she was just really fun. But Tiana Taylor was really good. One Battle After Another. Fantastic. Oh, yes. I mean, if anyone knows me, especially recently, I'm on the Timothy train, all right? The young GOAT. This is like being a fan of LeBron before he won his first ring. And he got his first ring right here, folks. And this is more to come, all right? More to come. Timothy Chalamet is him. Marty Supreme, my movie of the year last year. Banger. Wins Best Performance over Leonardo DiCaprio. All right? Who was probably the favorite in this. Ethan Hawke. I haven't seen Blue Moon, but I heard good things. We like Ethan Hawke. George Clooney was even there. All right? Timothy Chalamet, winner. Finally, this is his first Golden Globe. He's been nominated, I think, in the past, but this is his first Golden Globe win. And I'm hoping that's good signs for his Oscar chances as well. Timothy Chalamet, all right? Timothy Hamnet. We also like Ethan in chat here. We like all Ethans. All Devons, all Ethans, and a couple Davids. But yeah, Timothy Chalamet. If you ain't on the train yet, you better get on board quick because the train is leaving the station. We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Best performance by a female actor in motion picture. Rose Byrne won If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I did not know anything about these. This one. Begonia, I've heard mixed reviews on. Testament of Ann Lee, I've heard was really good, and I missed out. I think it was in theaters very limitedly, so I might have to check this one out. Chase Infinity, I was cheering for with One Battle After Another. This was her first movie, I realized. First movie. and to get a nomination, that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking cool. All right, on to the next quickly here. All right, last page actually. All right, we're moving through this. Spoilers. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture or drama. Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, which looked pretty good. This is one of the movies that was up for best international film. And what sucks about international films in America is that a lot of them don't get theater releases until afterwards. I think one of them that we just passed is in theaters now. I don't know if I'm going to have time to see it, unfortunately, at least in theaters. But yeah, a lot of these movies you don't hear about because of distribution issues. And then they don't know until they get nominated, but If I had legs that kick you, I heard was fantastic. A movie about darkly knowing you wish you didn't have a child. What? I don't even know. I mean, it sounds funny. Oscar Isaac was up for Frankenstein. Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Another arguably snub. The Rock's first nomination. Unfortunately, he did not take home gold. But I need to watch this movie. I meant to see it. Heard it was actually very good. The Rock is not just being himself. Yeah. Train Dreams popped up a couple times, and the movie sounds really cool. So it's one benefit of, like, in a way, is after these awards, any movies you didn't see, now you have, like, kind of a good inclination of what movies maybe to go back to that you maybe missed out on 2020, 2025 or the year before or whatever. And this one I was really happy with. I loved Hamnet. Jessie Buckley is great in it. And yeah, I was just happy. I was happy Hamnet got anything. I didn't think Hamnet would get anything, really. I wasn't... Because my barometer of... I think I said this last episode as well. My barometer of drama is still pretty small. I've been watching more dramas in the last couple years. It's definitely a genre I want to dive more into, especially more melodramas. I find myself really digging those. But I saw Hamnet, I thought it was really great, but I just didn't know, like, how good in comparison to... I feel like it's definitely, like, the more drama, melodrama movies that get awards, like, are more for the theater people, right? And so I wasn't sure how it stood up against other type of movies like that. What the hell is Hamnet? So Hamnet is a historical fiction based off a book about Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, and his family. More so his wife here. That's what Jessie Buckley is playing. And it's basically about their relationship and also about him writing Hamlet, which is called Hamnet, I guess in Old English. So if you're into, like, melodrama or, like, yeah, that kind of more serious shit, then I would recommend it. I didn't hear he had a kid. I don't know, like, so I thought the movie was real, like, based off a true story. And then I read it was based off a book, and it was historical fiction. So I don't know too much about William Shakespeare's, like, personal life. So I don't know how true it is. But yeah, Hamnet's really good. I really liked it. I really did. And made me feel validated that I'm like, at least if I'm watching the dramas and the melodramas, at least I'm watching the right ones, at least award-winning ones. Here's non-English language. I called it Best International, but they call it non-English language. You had France, South Korea, Norway, Spain, Brazil, Tunisia. But yeah, Secret Agent won, as we saw earlier. The actor won earlier. But yeah, Sentimental Valley won a couple awards as well. No Other Choice. That's the movie that I saw that is currently in theaters right now. And like I said, I'm probably going to freaking miss it, unfortunately. Best Motion Picture Animated. So I think this is, like, one of the only... Yeah, there's 3 categories. There's musical comedy as one, drama, and then animated. K-Pop Demon Hunters won this one. I was not surprised by this one. I haven't heard much of anything the other ones except for Zootopia 2. So K-Pop Demon Hunters wins this. This is the one award I thought they would win. I didn't know people were so high on K-Pop Demon Hunters. All right, Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. Yeah, Blue Moon, Bogania, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vogue. One Battle After Another won this. I was low-key cheering for Mario Supreme because I wanted my Timothy, Chalamet. I want him to get another dub. Pixar lost, so we won. Fair enough. Low-key, I did want Mario Supreme to win this. It's like you need, it's like the LeBron lifers in the NBA fandom, right? They don't like a team; they like LeBron. They like LeBron. That's me with Timothy Chalamet. All right. And I need to watch some of his older stuff, but I watch all his big stuff. All right, we are on Goat Watch. Okay, so I needed this one, but it's okay. We got one. One Battle After Another is cool with me though too. Cool with me too. I need to watch Bugania. I probably will watch maybe all of these. Now we get to Best Motion Picture Drama. I was actually surprised Sinners wasn't in musical or comedy. I mean, Mario Supreme is comedic, but I wouldn't call it a comedy first. One Battle After Another is comedic, but I wouldn't call it a comedy first. But so that's another thing where I'm like, these categories are kind of, I don't agree with fundamentally. That's why I think there needs to be separation. Instead of adding Best Podcast, why don't we have Best Musical or Best Comedy? Because there's a lot of music in Sinners. If anything, there's more original music and more of an emphasis on the music than One Battle After Another. Or even maybe Mario Supreme. Mario Supreme had a great soundtrack, but I just find that interesting. But anyways, Best Motion Picture Drama. I thought it was going to be Sentimental Value. Once the awards started going through, they won a couple of awards. I thought for sure it was going to be Sentimental Value. And I'm like, oh, Secret Agent got a couple. Maybe they'll do that. And then, then Hamnet got it. And I was very surprised. Like I said, on one hand, it validates like my opinion on it. Of like, hey, I can grade these movies. But it was not like I didn't think it was on that level of people's radars. But I guess that's the people who vote on this. The industry higher ups. But Sinners got snubs. That was I think that was a snub. I was like, out of all the movies here, I was cheering for Sinners just because I think that like I said, an original movie that like I just thought was pretty good. The Hamnet was very good, but I think Sinners got snubbed 100%. I just feel like it's it's a black story, shot by a black director. Had a lot of black actors in it. It was all about I just felt like it was like they deserve it. They put all they're trying to celebrate that, and it's just like you get snubbed again. But all these award shows, including Grammys as well, all these big award shows have a history of, I should have known better because they do have a history of snubbing black art. So but like I don't want to take anything away from Hamnet either. You know what I mean? But it was just like, it's kind of crazy that Sinners only got, like I said, best score. Right? It was best score. Which, like I said, the music was, well, again, if the person's winning best score, if we have Ludwig winning best score, why isn't it in the musical category? God, I'm so bad. These fucking tabs, bro. Yeah, it won best original score and cinematic and box office achievement. I think it deserved at least one of the best screenplay, for example. I think it was the other one that I think it should have won, or maybe give it to Michael B. Jordan. He played twins. That was fun, but that's the Golden Globes. But I'm gonna quickly go through some of these articles because they. These are predictions, I think, actually. But here's a quick synopsis, like, because I didn't get to cover everything, or I probably missed some stuff. But Tiana Taylor won Best Supporting Actress over tight competition. This is from Variety, by the way. While Sentimental Value star Inga Ibsdottir Lilius was the pundit pick, and Amy Madigan's villainous turn in Weapons gained steam in the race, Taylor secured the Globes for her explosive performance in one battle after another. Best original score not shown on television. This is, like I said, the biggest issue. Just like the Game Awards, these other, even the Oscars do it. As a metal fan, there's best metal performance every year, and it's the same, like usually the same 2 or 3 bands in it, and then a couple other ones, and they always don't have that on air because it doesn't get the views or whatever. Like, it's just hard to take an award thing in general seriously if some awards don't get television or airtime, but then you're gonna squeeze in freaking a podcast. You know what I mean? Was the Cinematic Box Office Achievement Award an attempt to get like Marvel movie fans to pay attention to the Globes? I have no idea when they added it. I'll have to look that up. Are there still Marvel movie fans? Fair enough. The Secret Agent has been gaining heat during this award season. Its Brazilian stars able to overtake big names like Oscar Isaac, Dwayne Johnson, and Michael B. Jordan for the Globe. Ryan Coogler loses Paul Thomas Anderson in a screenplay race. It was widely believed that Coogler would take script honors for Sinners, and Anderson would grab the direction Globe for one battle after another, but that wasn't the case. That was the other one I forgot to mention. That's why we're going through this. And I'll say whether or not I agree with these. But Michelle Williams takes Best Actress. I don't really have an opinion on that one. I mentioned this one earlier. No clips from the first film for the first hour. I didn't even pick up on that, but that's crazy. Amy Poehler takes first ever podcast Globe. Her podcast is very charming, but it's wild that it began on March 18th, 2025. Oh, so it's even it started in March 18th, so it wasn't even a full year. She hasn't even been in the grind set. All right, the Sonic Movie Show, which is on this channel, Rank Productions. If you like video game movies, check out that show that Ethan in chat and I do here, and occasionally David as well. We've been doing that since 2019, so maybe we have a shot. We keep saying it. We might have a shot at Golden Globes. I'll take back any criticism I have of it if we get a Golden Globe nomination. Watching Stellan Skarsgård take the stage to Usher's "Yeah" was a deliriously surreal moment. I don't even remember that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought Sinners would get way more, or at least more than what they did get. So that was shocking, kind of shitty for the people who made that movie. But hopefully, they continue to do what they're doing, and they'll give it out for they get something that they are deserving, because they are deserving of the Golden Globes here. I'm one of those people that I like to see new faces get stuff, but we'll see where the Oscars go. I don't think the Oscars have been fully out yet. Those are in March, so we'll see when we get closer to that. But yeah, I'm happy Timothy got it. Shocked by Hamnet. That was my biggest shock. I've heard not many people talking about Hamnet. I know it wasn't a big theatrical release either, but from the people I do see online that I respect, their opinions of what movies are up, no one was talking about Hamnet. It was Sinners, Frankenstein. I saw some people have a conversation of. I think my main issue with Frankenstein, probably put it at my 6 or 7 last year. I think it had the Netflix look sometimes, unfortunately. But I do need to rewatch it. I'm happy when Battle for Another got stuff, but I was like, damn, it got a lot of awards. Damn. But hey, I'm just happy. The biggest success, and I think I said this also last stream, I know I keep saying that. The biggest success, and I need to keep building off of it, is that I knew, I want to say 45% of these movies, at least in the movie categories. TV shows, I don't know if I'll ever get to that level, but movies, I'm proud of myself that I had some knowledge on most of them, and most of the ones I didn't have knowledge on were international films. So, that's where I'm I could try my best to get better at that, but I feel like some of that's outside of my control. But now I have a loose list from some of these where I need to watch, and we'll be curious to see what the Oscars have. But yeah, Excited for what we got for the Oscars. I will see what, now that Hamnet, is on the radar, man. We'll see. But that is it. That is it, folks. That was another episode of Devon's Movie Dungeon. An hour and 8 mark there. 1 hour and 8 mark we've hit. Last time was an hour and a half. That's loosely my goal. Hour to an hour and a half. I don't want to waste your time. I want it to be quick. I want it to be painless as possible. And hopefully I'll have more movies to talk about, except for 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Like I said, I'm watching Lost Highway tonight. Shout out to David Lynch. Rest in peace. But yeah, I'm probably not going to... Well, I'm getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow. Thursday. Amy just gave us her Golden Globe. Oh, she sent it in the mail? That's good. I asked her for it. I hope to do this again. My goal is to do this every other week. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out on Thursday, so I should be good for a week and whatnot, but we'll see. I don't want to promise anything, but my loose goal is to do every other week on top of our regular programming on this channel. We do a lot of video game streams. We do movie reviews, video game movie reviews specifically, and whatnot. We have a lot of stuff coming out. February, I am hosting David and Ethan chat here for a trivia of around Valentine's Day. So get ready for that. Our gauntlet series there, I guess you can call it. But yeah, we have a lot coming down the deck. We have the Sonic movie watch along, and no, that wasn't me misspeaking. We have that coming out as well soon, very soon. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep doing this. I need to do a movie review of something, but I'll know it when I see it. That's kind of how I am with the movie reviews. I think I did 6 last year. So we'll see what I can do this year. But I have other ideas as well, but I'm not going to say them in case they don't happen. So thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm Devon, one half of srankproductions here. If you enjoyed this, you can subscribe. You don't have to, but it's preferred because, we have to do that or whatever. I think Ethan said we have to get to 800, by end of the year, or else we all perish. So yeah. But yeah, if you can give a like or comment too. If you're watching this after the live stream, we'd also appreciate that too. I want to know what people are watching. Sometimes, that's the best marketing, is word of mouth. Let me know what's happening out there, what y'all are watching, what your thoughts are. But yeah, really appreciate everyone being here, and I'll catch you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye.